Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Rachel Caruso, MK Ultra survivor from the Merovingian Illuminati bloodline. Therefore, I am an ongoing MK Ultra target. So today I am documenting my attempt to report a kidnapping by a local bus driver in Dartington and Totnes, and that's in Devon County, England. Before we go any further, let me confirm the date and time with you. As you can see, it is 4:48 p.m. on Thursday, July 30th, 2020. So this kidnapping happened on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, the 28th. And I've already documented what happened, and I documented my filing of the police reports online because after an hour and a half almost on the phone with a non-emergency number, I was disconnected. And the emergency number 999 wouldn't accept my call. However, I'm going to show you why they should have. So I did receive an email from the police responding to my reports with the log number and asking me to call them back. But this is in their email. You should always call 999 if someone is in immediate danger or harm. Well, I escaped the kidnapping, but the driver was still driving his route, and he left. Obviously, he was enraged at that time. So he was very volatile and unstable. He was a predator. He was unstable, driving a vehicle and interacting with, giving rights to the public. A crime has just been committed. Well, I called as soon as I could after it had happened, so it had just been committed. A serious disruption to the public is likely. As I said, public bus driver who is a predator and just committed a kidnapping still on his route is a serious disruption to the public. Ongoing. So also, I will show you, here is the starts of their email, and yeah, so that shows you it was today at 1:10 p.m. I am just editing off the log number or the incident report number. So that's why I'm zoomed in here. So you can see they're acknowledging they have my reports and they want to talk with me on the phone. I did mark on my report that email was my preferred method of contact, and they tried calling me first. So it took me, I was on hold with 101 for an hour to report a serious crime. An hour and 20 minutes total because I called twice, and I have 2 voicemails. So I'll record those right now.
3:03 p.m. This is Devon Cornwall Police in relation to log 30 for the 7th. I wonder if you can make contact with us in relation to this log so we can get some more information in order to be able to assist you. So if you call 101 and quote the log number. Thank you.
6 to skip to next message.
1:52 p.m.
Hello there, it's Devon Cornwall Police calling you. It's in regards to the log of the 30th of July, so today's date. We received your email and we really would like to speak to you regarding this. I understand that you have some concerns about passing your identity to us. Is there any way that you could go to a police station near you so that somebody could come and speak with you there? Otherwise, if you could call 101 so that we can take some more details from you, that would be great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So hopefully you heard that last message, which I believe was actually the first one left. You would have heard the timestamp for it. She was talking a little bit soft. neither call did they identify themselves. I mean, they identified themselves as police, but they didn't say their name, who they are. So that's an issue, because I will tell you, every Illuminati member who isn't playing a part of like a new age cult, sometimes even those people, but when it comes to like officials and everything connected to the system, they all try to withhold their name from me. Even, you know, my previous landlady, who was a handler, Chloe Nicholson, she wouldn't give me her last name, like a woman who I rented from for 7 months. And so it's always a red flag. I'm going to ask for names, and I'm going to bet you that they'll say they're not obliged to tell me, or it's not necessary, or they can't say for whatever reason. I bet you that they'll say they'll withhold their name. So it's interesting in that the last message, which was actually the first left first by the female, she said, oh, she understands I have some concerns about giving them my identity because I identified myself as a victim of trafficking, lifelong trafficking from a generational, international, global cult. The woman said, oh, we understand that you have some concern for giving us your identity. So could you come into the police station? No, the police know me. They assaulted me, they attacked me and assaulted me in a big community gang stalking incident. I'm not sure what an appropriate term would be for this whole psyop, which took place on January 17th of this year, 2020, which was part of a satanic revels holiday ceremony. Also, I lived, Chloe Nicholson's property that I rented was right behind the police station. Like, you literally had to go through the police station parking lot for Americans to get to the building. It enclosed my flat. So I'm getting ready to call them back. Hopefully I get through. There's no doubt they will manipulate me. Like, I'm really not looking forward to this call because it's going to be such severe gaslighting and psychological abuse and manipulation. I've been through this dozens of times, specifically with the police. You know, I'm not expecting the police to do anything. However, I will hold them to it. So when they don't, or if there's any part of their job they neglect, if they try to manipulate me, I will expose them.
Thank you for calling 101. We're connecting you to Devon Cornwall Police. If you require an alternative force, press hash.
We are sorry, but our team is busy with other calls.
Okay, so we'll see how long I'm on hold for. All right, just checking with you. It's been 12 and a half minutes and I'm still on hold. So just checking in because last time I wasn't recording while I was on hold, waited an hour, and got disconnected. So at least now you've seen that. And you also saw that I have plenty of service here.
0800
Checking in again.
111.
We're at 26 minutes, 25 minutes.
Out about police inquiries.
Still on hold.
Censorship is always wrong. Censorship does not improve public health. In fact, it threatens public health. The authorities responsible for containing this pandemic clearly have failed. We know that. Some of them are decent people. They're trying their best. But despite their efforts, they have frequently been wrong. We know that because it's on tape. So what we desperately need now, as we always do in crisis, and especially in a crisis that can be solved by science, is more voices in the conversation, not fewer.
Using our web chat facility, which can be found on the homepage on our website.
All right. 40 minutes, still on hold. And here we go, checking in. I've been on hold for almost an hour now. My battery's even fucking dying. And this is sucking up all of my minutes. I just realized that. I only have like 200 minutes or something for the month. And I just bought minutes the other day. So I'm going to hang up. Actually, I'm going to consult with my heart. heist guidance. Yeah, I feel it's time to hang up. Nothing is going to come up this day. I need to get on with my day. I literally spent an hour just sitting here fucking waiting to talk to somebody. And I couldn't answer the phone before because I was just completely unavailable for multiple reasons. And yeah, so it's really impossible to talk to the police. And I guess we're seeing now the designed obstruction. Can't call 999 even though it was appropriate. Was on hold for an hour and 20 minutes. My first time. They call whenever I'm unavailable. And whenever I try to call them, again, I wait for an hour to talk to the police about a major crime. So at this rate, I will never get through. Like I said before, I was disconnected after an hour. What a waste of my time. They've made it literally impossible to talk to the police about human trafficking and kidnapping. So I am signing off. I'm going to confirm the date and time with you in a moment. There you go. So that was when I started recording. And this is the current time. So I'll see you in the next video chronicling whatever happens or doesn't happen from my police report of kidnapping and MK Ultra trafficking. Okay, hi.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, can I take your name?
Well, as the report indicated, I wanted to remain anonymous. I didn't include my name for a reason.
Right, okay. In the case, then there's not going to be a great deal that we can do.
And why is that?
Well, because what you're reporting is a victim-based crime. So in order to have a victim-based crime, it can't be anonymous.
Okay,
it's your choice. I can't force you or anything. It's your choice.
So no one would take a statement from me or investigate the kidnapping?
I'd have to question whether or not it's an actual kidnapping, but yeah, no. I mean, essentially, what you're saying is, yeah, it wouldn't be investigated unless unless we actually had a victim. It wouldn't be done on an anonymous basis.
Okay, can I give you my first name?
It would need to be the full name.
Okay, and then what happens from there once I give you my name?
Well, then we have a conversation, and and discuss a little bit more detail of what it was that happened to you, so that I get a better understanding of how we can try and assist you. But if you want time to think about it, I can always give you a call tomorrow.
No, I mean, it's been over a week. I've been trying to contact the police for a week. As my email indicated, I've been on hold for hours with 101 trying to get through. So yeah, I want to stay in the line and work out what I can right now. Can you tell me who am I speaking with?
My name is Simon.
Simon?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, as I said, I've been victimized by corrupt members of the local police, and so that is why I wanted to remain anonymous. So
I completely understand that, but as I say, what you're trying to report, or what you're looking to report, is what we call a victim-based crime, and as such, there needs to be a victim willing to be able to, to put themselves forward, if you like. I say it's entirely your choice. I'm not going to force you.
okay, I mean, you gave me your first name, but can you give me your last name?
That's not something that I do. It's a personal thing. But to be perfectly honest, you don't need my last name.
It's a personal thing, but is it a professional thing as a police officer?
I'm not a police officer, but
okay, so who?
I mean, I'm happy to give you my shoulder number, but I don't give a surname.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, fine, I'll take your shoulder number. And what is your role within the authority if you're not a police officer or constable?
I'm a call handler for Devon Cornwall Police.
Okay. And what's your shoulder number?
56487.
56487. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll give you my name. My name's Patty Smith.
Okay, so Patty with an I or a Y?
With a Y.
With a Y. Smith, okay, that's fine. And date of birth, please.
March sorry, well, the 21st of March, 1989.
Oh, fiddlesticks, trumpet name correctly. March 1989. And I've got to so I've got to ask, identify as male, female?
Female.
I assume female, but yeah, okay. And so what's the postcode of your home address, please?
I mean, is that necessary to give also?
It's not essential, but it's like ideally.
Well, I'd
Again,
rather not
I can't
then.
force you, but if you, ideally, we would have an address as well for a victim.
I'm located in Dartington, but I'm not comfortable giving my.
Sorry?
I'm located in Dartington, but I'm not comfortable giving my postal code.
Right. Okay. So let's just kind of table that for the time being then. So this situation that happened with the bus driver then. Got on a couple of times, and it was the second time when he kind of gave you a bit of a haranguing for not wearing a mask, and he wouldn't let you off the bus for maybe half a minute or so.
Correct. He harassed me about not wearing a mask on a previous occasion a couple weeks ago. And so on I believe it was the 28th, when I had my return trip, it was the return trip that he held me in the bus after the journey, against my will. He held me in the bus.
He held you in the bus, right?
Against my will, and harassed me, called me names, refused to open the doors whenever I repeatedly told him to open the doors. He threatened me. I'm sorry?
What did he call you?
I mean, I was just repeating, I was talking over him, repeating for him to let me out and banging on the doors, so I didn't hear everything. I remember him calling me a spoiled brat, and once I got off the bus, because I was banging on the doors and there were witnesses there, I believe that's the only reason why he let me off the bus, because I was calling attention from the bystanders. But he left the doors open as he drove away, screaming at me, go back to America.
Right, okay. Right.
And so that harassment for my nationality is also a hate crime.
So do you believe that his issues to you were because of your nationality, or was that just something that he said in the heat of the moment?
I mean, I can't say his entire motivation, but his whole behavior was calculated and predatorial, because he knew from he's actually harassed me for several other reasons other than not wearing a mask. I've ridden the bus with him a few times, and because he knows that like I won't engage with it, he knew that the only way he could force me to receive his abuse is if he locked me in or shut the doors on me. And so on that return journey, he let me on, pretended to be nicer than normal, was extra polite, so even like be out of his regular character, which is hostile and harassing. And so I thought that there would be no problem on that journey. And then so that's why he waited until afterwards, when I was already on the bus and he wouldn't let me off, to harass me about wearing a mask and threaten me, saying he was going to fine me or not let me on the next time. And he was citing, just false information like that. Of course, he can't fine me, and he has no right to refuse somebody a ride because they're exempt from wearing a mask. And he also said that I'm required to have an exempt card, which of course is false. So he was just fabricating all of this just to harass me.
Understood. Okay, so what sort of time did this happen, Paddy?
I mean, I put it in my report. I believe it was around 3:55 p.m.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sorry, I must have missed that. So on the 28th, between 3:45, 3:55 p.m.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Right. So we've got your telephone number. We've got that. Okay. So I'm going to get some advice and see which way we need to go with this. But thank you so much for your cooperation already. And then I will chase it up. Depending on who I need to speak to and how long it takes, it may be tomorrow. If you what's your availability if you'd like tomorrow?
I'm available until from about like 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow.
10 till 1, I can make that work. Ideally, it'll be today, but if not, if you don't hear from me this afternoon, because I've only got until 4 o'clock, and I don't know the working schedule of the people that I need to speak to. But if not, then I will do it early doors tomorrow, and then give you a call with sometime between 10 and 1.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else before I go? Anything else you'd like to add at the moment?
Well, I mean, it says in my report that I'm a victim of organized crime and human trafficking, and the bus driver.
That's in the past, is it, as opposed to currently?
No, it's current.
How are you a victim of organised crime and trafficking at the moment?
My report says it. It says that there are constant attempts on my life.
Yeah, but it says broad things like that. I'm talking about, specifically.
Okay, but I mean, it's not okay to ignore the fact that my report does say that I'm currently a victim of human trafficking. There's no reason for you to tell me that I've communicated it in the past.
From my understanding, how is it that you're currently a victim of human trafficking?
From your understanding, I mean, this conversation doesn't make sense right now. But let me explain how I'm currently a victim of human trafficking. There are constant attempts on my life. I'm stalked, I'm harassed, and this is a global network of organized crime. So it's not, it was started or began, well, it didn't begin with my family, it did for me. So my family was a part of it, and I've endured severe abuse, and so I'm, there's instances like with what happened to the bus driver. He would start conversations with me that were of the most bizarre nature, out of context, which specifically referred to things of my traffickers. So there's events like that.
So what sort of threats on your life have there been, and have you reported it to us?
Yeah, I have, and the reports disappear. As I said, there are corrupt members of the police force who are involved. The reports literally disappear. I'm told that I've never made a report. Or the police officers actually laugh at me to my face whenever I report it.
Right, okay, understood. That's sad to hear, but okay. Right, okay, well, I'll do what I can, and so I need to get some advice, and then I'll either today or tomorrow give you a call and let you know what's going on.
Okay.
All right, thanks very much for your time.
Yep, bye. Okay, so I received that call. Oh, I'm triggered. I received that call from the police, although not an actual police member. And this is what I literally woke up like. So sorry that my parents, I'm having like a bumming it day, just staying inside. If you can hear, it's raining. And so there must be a program attached to something he said, because it's said to me all the time. And even it has a context in the conversation, but every time I feel program activation. I get severely emotionally triggered. My mind goes blank and it starts to scramble. I can't cohesively put thoughts together. And so the key phrase is, how are you a victim of trafficking? Or people have also said, how are you a victim of abuse? And like, I can't answer it when I'm put on the spot like that. And it might even be, I mean, the programs can be intricate. They can be even, designed for like, if a person of authority asks me such and such questions. So I made a start on it and he like accepted it as though it was an answer. Because, I'm also trying to avoid saying MK Ultra, saying mind control. So it's very difficult to explain like isolated components of the trafficking and abuse without the whole context of satanic ritual abuse, of MK Ultra mind control. He didn't ask me like what the specific topics relating to my traffickers, which the bus driver brought up. He didn't ask me what those topics were. I didn't put it in my police report, but I did put that part in my police report. And so this wasn't a legitimate conversation. Okay, was with an Illuminati member, as it always is. I've been through this dozens of times. And with a MK Ultra TI, especially a whistleblower, and I can tell you, for me personally, there will never be a legitimate person of authority interacting with me. Everything will always be designed and intercepted so that I only interact with Illuminati. So Simon, shoulder 56487, is Illuminati. Did you hear how he laughed whenever I told him that it was a hate crime? Right, because if you're from certain countries, then when people express hate or discrimination or prejudice against your nationality, that doesn't count as a hate crime. It's actually for every country in the world except America. So this is a part of the MK Ultra programming that I've been put through in the fraudulent global asylum system that I've endured in the UK, and also the UK's national referral mechanism, which claims that it's a governmental system to collect data on the crime of human trafficking and support the victims while that data is collected from them, and that is all a front for human trafficking, and it's very interwoven with the asylum system. So the program that I was inundated with was, if you're from America, nothing can happen, nothing bad can happen to you. You are so privileged by virtue of the country you come from that it's actually illegitimate to claim that severe crimes or abuse can happen to you, and you don't need protection, or there's no such thing as discrimination. And this act itself is discriminatory. So this is literally discriminating against me because I'm American. So just collecting my thoughts. Yeah, he laughed whenever I said it was a hate crime, and that was in my report, so it's something else that he was ignoring from my report. So he's pretending like he doesn't have my report, he's not looking at it, but I called him out on it, and he's like, oh, right, yeah, of course, it's in your report. So all these questions he was asking me, or the things that he was trying to overlook, were already in the report. He would have been staring at it. So he was ready to overlook being a victim of trafficking and hate crime. I had to bring those topics up. He was ready to end the call. And that puts it into a lot more context. And so he claims that, oh, well, he just thought it was historical. Number one, that wouldn't have mattered. He still would have needed to address the issue and taken my information on it. And number two, he's gaslighting me. It was very clear in my report that it is ongoing. And then, did you hear, like, his question? Did it make sense? From my understanding, how are you a victim of trafficking? So, like, a logical question, even though it would have been part of the gaslighting, would have been for my understanding. So it's like this insane word salad that you get from narcissists, and it's meant to just scramble your brain, and you can't respond properly if the question is nonsense. You can't navigate something if there is no logic to it. So something else I want to hit on, I'm just looking down, I have some notes. He wouldn't give, firstly, he didn't identify himself, which isn't right. And probably against protocol. I wouldn't know, because all the Illuminati, the fake authorities, the corrupt authorities, all of them actively withhold their names, which is what he did, even whenever I asked for it. But so it starts off with just not disclosing anything about their identity. And I'm guessing that's against protocol whenever you're calling a victim of a crime and you are going through the report with them. So I had to ask him for his name. You know, he was digging for my name, and he wouldn't give me his name, even his first name. And so he gave me his first name. And then this is also something, usually whenever I ask for their name, a lot of times they'll refuse to give me even their first name. And they actually tell me it's confidential, or they're not obliged, or they're not comfortable, but they won't be able to give a reason for why they're not comfortable, why they're not obliged, or why, yeah, whatever. But so sometimes they give me the first name and they refuse to give me their last name, which is, of course, the identifying factor of a person. There could be a million Simons, or, at least more than one, right? And so, but he did run the same program whenever I asked him for his last name, the key to identifying him. And so he said, oh, well, I don't want to for personal reasons. And as I said, is that a professional reason? Like, are you professionally allowed to withhold your name from me? And I'm guessing not. I'm just frustrated. So he gave me his shoulder number, right? And he didn't even identify when he denied being a police officer. Well, he didn't identify himself to begin with. Didn't tell me his name or his job position, who I was speaking to. It was just, oh, this is Devon Cornwall Police. That's what he said. And you missed the first part of that, because because I've been having such difficulty getting them on the phone, I had to answer it when it was ringing and then start the recording. So his introduction was just, this is Devon Cornwall Police. And so whenever he even denied being a police officer, he wouldn't clarify what he is. Again, I had to ask for it. So it's like digging for little scraps of the truth. That wouldn't happen with a legitimate person within authority. This wouldn't happen with a legitimate person of law enforcement. And so, of course, I gave a fake name that did match the initials that I provided in my reports, which is PS. And I also had my birthday in the report, and he had to ask for it again. And And I think that was the time that you heard him say, oh yeah, it's in the report. Like, he didn't know. Of course he knew everything that was in my fucking report. He would have been looking at it, and he's pretending like he doesn't. And so whenever I called him out on gaslighting me, he didn't have a response. Now, I received voicemails from the police or from the call handlers asking acknowledging that I want to remain anonymous, therefore can I come into the station? Now, that would have broke anonymity if someone saw me, because in my police report, it does say that there are corrupt police officers who are involved in my trafficking. And, oh, that's another key point to hit on to prove that this call handler would have had to have been very clear that this is an ongoing issue, that it's not historical trafficking. But also, it's a contradiction to what the police told me in the voicemail, which was I can remain anonymous and come in and make a report. And this one, Simon was saying that I can't make a report and remain anonymous, or they won't do anything about it if I remain anonymous. And of course, that's not true. That's not how the procedures actually are. I mean, think about it. If somebody witnessing reported the crime, okay, so they weren't the victim, but they could remain anonymous. There's even a whole anonymous hotline called Crime Stoppers. I'm looking at the number, I wrote it down here, 0800-555-111. That is the anonymous Crime Stoppers hotline. So don't tell me that you can't do anything about a crime if you don't have the identity of the victim. What would have happened if I reported this to the anonymous Crime Stoppers? Would they have said, you're not allowed to remain anonymous? So yeah, this Simon fella is full of shit, and this is part of human trafficking. Anything a part of MK Ultra abuse is trafficking. So just keep that in mind, and also keep in mind what Illuminati members are. What is required to be an Illuminati member? Satanic worship, pedophilia, rape, murder, torture, satanic ritual abuse, mind control programming, and all of this is part of human trafficking. So keep that in mind when you consider who Simon, Mystery Simon is, shoulder number 56487 of the Devon and Cornwall Police. And keep that in mind as we continue through this series and you hear all of the corrupt parties that I interact with. All right, so I'm going to quickly confirm the date and time with you because I didn't have a chance to do so before the call. So I'm in Dartington in the UK, and as you can see in the UK, it is 3:45 p.m. on Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. All right, so I think I covered all my bases, and I'll see you in the next video chronicling the human trafficking of myself, and at least you can say the attempt of human trafficking, because I do belong to God. But I will always be an ongoing target for the Illuminati. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Take care.